Steven Gerrard refused to criticise Alfredo Morelos and Jon Flanagan despite their dismissals, which left Rangers clinging on to a place in the Europa League. Rangers were forced to endure a nail-biting final 25 minutes after being reduced to 9 men against Ufa in Russia, but grabbed a 1-1 draw which sealed a 2-1 aggregate win and a ticket to the group stages. Morelos was dismissed, having collected 2 quick-fire bookings, while Flanagan followed him down the tunnel after the break as he also picked up a pair of yellows. But the Rangers manager, who confirmed a 1-year loan deal for Nottingham Forest defender Joe Worrall, has been struck, said, "I'm not going to criticise the 2 red cards because those 2 players have helped us very much since I came in the door. I'm sure Jon and Alfredo will apologise to their teammates, but in terms of the 9 men who were there from start to finish, I haven't got words to describe them. Alfredo is an incredible footballer, but he's still a young footballer. The important thing is to learn as quick as you can. The same goes for Jon, he's more experienced but should know better. But players don't make mistakes on purpose. Sometimes the decisions were harsh, and I thought in Alfredo's case the decision was very harsh. All my players need to learn quick that when you come away in Europe sometimes the decisions are not the same as domestically, and we have to find some discipline because as a group ours hasn't been good enough so far." Rangers claimed a precious away goal after a VH area struck 9 minutes in, but Dmitry Sisuev levelled for the hosts moments before Morelos' red card. But Ufa could not make the most of their numerical advantage as Gerrard's team dug in. Rangers go into today's draw after sealing their return to the main phase of a European competition for the first time since 2010. "My blood pressure has calmed down a bit now, but the team don't seem to want to do it the easy way," admitted Gerrard. "I'm so proud of the players, an incredible achievement. I always had one eye on this moment because it was the first thing we could achieve as a group, and the players deserve the credit." A move for Osijek winger Eros Grezda is still to be completed, but Worrall's move had been signed off with 24 hours to spare ahead of today's transfer deadline. Everything appeared to be going smoothly when each area curled home a precious away goal, but Sisuev's equaliser gave the Russians hope before Morelos' moment of madness put Rangers under the cosh. Morelos played a key part in each area's goal, robbing Gemal Tabids before Rangers worked the ball to the left flank for Flanagan. The fullback's cross was only half cleared by Aynut Nedelseru, and each area swept the ball into the corner. Ufa initially looked shell-shocked but soon recovered. Connor Goldson was forced to produce a last-ditch block on Sisuev on the half-hour mark, but 2 minutes later there was no denying the frontman. Rangers' defence had stepped up, but Sisuev raced into slot past Alan McGregor as the visitors appealed in vain for offside. Rangers boss Steven Gerrard needed his team to remain calm, but instead saw Morelos lose his head. First, he booted the ball away after giving away a foul. Then he aimed a verbal blast at the linesman before completing his meltdown by giving referee Tobias Stieler a dismissive wave. The German official already had a yellow card in his hand for the first offence and immediately flashed it a second time to leave Rangers stunned. The task of keeping the Russians at bay grew even harder as Flanagan got his marching orders. He had already been booked for a foul and looked stunned as he was given a second for a tame collision. There were a couple of late scares as Vyacheslav Krotov flicked a header against a post while Tabids did find the net only to see his header ruled out for a foul, but Rangers stood firm. Steven Gerrard refused to criticise Alfredo Morelos and Jon Flanagan despite their dismissals, which left Rangers clinging on to a place in the Europa League. Rangers were forced to endure a nail-biting final 25 minutes after being reduced to 9.